Lighting up was a pretty big deal because we have a lot of darkness here in the wintertime. So, it's...
Oh, I thought you meant metaphorically.
No. I'm Lee-Anne Chisholm.
And I'm Aaron Harder.
We met in high school and when we were teenagers, probably about 16 or 17.
Actually, really similar childhood friends. We had mutual groups of friends, but never really hung out closely with each other. And then after, in our, mid-20s, we started hanging out again with mutual friends, and we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
So I grew up out Bushy Lakeway, well, actually way past Winchesky Lakeway, and Lee-Anne grew up in Alexandria.
Yeah.
So very similar childhoods, upbringings, and just on the opposite ends of town. And
Half hour out of town, both grew up on farms,
Yeah.
both were into art and creating things
Yeah.
when we were kids. And
to spend, all those years living basically the same life, completely separate, and then to amalgamate our lives with kindred spirits towards artwork, and then to be able to combine that together into building a career making art together.
yeah,
is
we're kind of blown away.
Yeah, it almost seems surreal that it's worked out.
I remember painting when I was really little and just kind of loved all the different colors and especially painting faces. And people really liked to see the faces that I was painting, so that kind of got me like really into it and that connection with people and drawing them. And so, now I do commission portraits and that kind of thing. So it's really nice to see that I could continue on with that. I haven't done any formal training other than apprentice to tattoo, which I learned a lot from, lights and shadows, and I progressed my artwork so much more. I think especially because it's so serious and you really have to, you're not playing around with it anymore, you're actually making something permanent. So it made me really commit to being an artist, I guess. So, but then I found out that I enjoy painting more.
So same as Lee-Anne, I started, I was drawing from as a kid, as often as I can remember. I still have a Bible that I had when I was probably 5 from Sunday school, and all through the Bible is dinosaurs drawn. Every spot, anywhere there's like a blank spot, there's dinosaurs throughout this whole thing. So yeah, I've been interested in art my entire life. Through high school, I was convinced I am definitely going to be a professional artist, put every bit of effort into doing that. Until grade 12, and I fell into some bad crowds and decided that school wasn't for me anymore. And at that point, I'm like, well, maybe an art career isn't practical right now. Got into industrial construction and pursued that for about a decade. And then started my own company. And during that point, I started doing, working with other artists to do different portions of the fabrication of their sculpture. Done a lot of work with my brother in that respect. And that kind of rekindled the fire for me to pursue, a full-time career as an artist again. And also with the skills I'd gained, doing construction and industrial fabrication, I felt confident to, now is the time that I can take the plunge, and if it doesn't work, I have something to fall back on, but I can also apply all those skills that I've learned over the years to my craft. And that's a big part of why, I've primarily focused on sculpture, and my mediums are concrete and steel, primarily.
We struggled quite a bit with it, and having, things to, like Aaron said, to fall back on, and still making art on the side. But now we seem to be in a place where we can devote our time to making art, which is really what we had hoped for, but it doesn't always work out that way, and it's difficult. So we're just,
super thankful.
It's so thankful every day that we can, and every time we get more work, we're just thinking this is fantastic.
But having each other to bounce creative ideas off of and build someone to, back you up when you're trying to develop a concept or something like that has been unbelievably productive and helpful.
Yeah.
We always have somebody to, tell you when an idea is,
And we do
you gotta
that.
go. And it happens. I mean, there's we
It's
definitely
hard
throw
to
some bad
accept.
ideas out there. And it's been a lot of fun creating work together as well, outside of our individual styles and what we want to do on a personal level, to take those and amalgamate them into, some of the community pieces that we've done around town.
Aaron and I are directors at the Quesnel Art Gallery, and one of the other directors, Cindy Cassidy, she had the idea, like, wouldn't it be great to do a community mural? So she had gotten in touch with me. That was before we were directors, and just thought maybe this is something that we could spearhead and come up with some ideas of how that could be done. And then when COVID happened, a community mural, all of our ideas for it were, in a small space and a lot of people. And so we thought, well, maybe this is something that we can't do. But we had this idea, and I'm just so happy with how it turned out, that we would create a package that people could pick up from the art gallery with their tile, and any age can paint it. But we had colors in the package, and they could choose their main colors and paint anything that they would like and bring that back to the art gallery. And then Aaron and I put it together as a mural. And it was a little bit of a scary project because we have this idea and we're like, okay, this is how we think it's going to look, but depending on what comes back and how many people bring tiles back, or even if people are interested, this might be, something that we would have to, troubleshoot. But
We did a little bit of envision having like paint nights where we would just be painting hundreds of tiles to try to get this thing to come to fruition.
Yeah.
But the community response was amazing on it.
It was.
Yeah, so we sent out 130 or 100,
Yeah.
and we got all back but like 5.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was
was
amazing.
incredible.
Like, we were super surprised. Everyone was like right on time, really excited about the project. And I hope that can be like the pilot project for like some bigger stuff, because I would really love to turn that idea into something sculptural that the community can be involved in, create a piece with us, and then we can do something, really grand.
And really nice to see the feedback from the community. People are interested in this, and having their own piece of art that is something that they can, go downtown and see. I had my mark on that. So a lot of our work has been through word of mouth, and I'm just so glad that worked out that way, because sometimes it can be really difficult with marketing and advertising and that kind of thing. I paint public murals, so sometimes that will take even up to a month sometimes, and I'll be right out there in the public. I get a lot of people coming up and asking questions, and even sometimes people who didn't know that a mural might be something that they wanted, and we start talking about it, and they might have a wall that is actually a blank canvas. That was a really popular spot. I didn't realize it when I first started painting. I thought this is going to be, a lot of people that I know, and maybe meet a lot of people. But it was really a busy spot.
Turns out a lot of people go to the liquor store.
Maybe there could
And
be.
the bakery.
And the bakery. Yeah. So I during the day I'd have these, amazing conversations with people, and it's really cool to see how many people are interested in art, because when I'm out there painting, it really drew people in. So and people who maybe out of town, or come up and talk about maybe the other art that's in Quesnel, and they could walk around and see it. So that has been really great to see Quesnel kind of blooming in this art experience.
That piece was, it was fun to develop that, because Brad, who owns the casino, commissioned the work. And he basically said, I'm giving you free rein. Yeah. I want something that ties in obviously with the casino and,
Quesnel
and the area. But other than that, I want something grand. I want a
Yeah.
big sculpture, and the rest is up to you. So, we threw around different ideas, and that, what actually ended up being the final concept, was one of the earliest sketches that I drew up. I just scribbled it up one day. I'm like, oh, this would be, kind of cool. The piece has been really well received, and the people's idea of what the piece means is, it ranges from Quesnel's about mining, and we're going back to our roots, to understanding the deeper meaning from my perspective, being that it's more looking inward and finding your purest self.
Yeah.
And so it's been really cool hearing like every different version of the work, and seeing that some people are finding the Easter egg in it, and
Yeah.
looking past just the aesthetics of it.
Some people might just like the way it looks, and some people might, have other ideas of what it means to them, and that's really what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Is how to make artwork that people can get a feeling from it, and sometimes that can be unique to them.
So at the conceptual part of the piece, I didn't really envision what was going to be suspended inside of the cube. Mm-hmm. I just wanted it like some golden light emitting from this black cube of darkness, illuminating the character. And I actually did not see the piece lit up and all composed until it was in its final spot. Like when I was building it here, there just wasn't any way I could get a glimpse of how it was going to look, but not. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was thrilled the first night.
What you're hoping for, yeah.
Yeah, well, the first night when I went down after it was all put up, and we waited till 11 o'clock at night when dusk was finally starting to get dark, and to see it light up as the expectation was hopefully going to be was a pretty cool moment.
As you move past it, it really sparkles, and so I was hoping that would come across when it was actually
That's what I was
there.
going for, the sparkle.
Yeah, no, I don't think you were, but that's how I see it. Yeah.
A lot of my pieces have some lighting effect to them, and that's the first one that I've got to see when it was installed light up. The rest, I've worked in Kamloops that I've never seen light up. I've been told and sent pictures that it actually works and looks good at night.
Yeah.
Same with the Richmond piece, which is a 18-foot tall steel sculpture that I did with my brother. Also has like a pretty serious light effect.
Really beautiful.
Didn't see that until months after it was installed. The best piece of advice is don't wait for things to come to you. Yeah. Pursue things, and if you don't see things to pursue, make things to pursue.
Yeah.
Really go after avenues where there looks like there needs to be art there. Go talk to that business owner. Go talk to that person that has that spot of land. You're definitely not gonna get rich off your first piece of work, or extremely unlikely. Yeah. But it's amazing how many opportunities will arise if you'll just put yourself out there. Yeah. And it's hard. I mean, it's hard to put your work out there as an artist. I understand, like, you always have these feelings of self-doubt and, am I good enough? Is my work, strong enough to put out there? Mm-hmm. Just go for it. Mm-hmm. And if it's not, it's not going to be perfect the first time, but it opens the door to make more art.
Yeah. That emotional side of it is pretty tough, because we hear a lot of things like that, it's tough to be an artist, and it is, and sometimes we can feel like maybe we should, pursue something else, and sometimes you have to, and we've had to do that, in between and to make ends meet. But don't stop creating. That's my advice. Don't stop making artwork, because the way that I've felt more confident making artwork is to create more. And
I think also work with other artists. Whether it's other successful artists or just artists in your group or that you know of. Don't be afraid to collaborate.
Yeah.
That's been a great experience for me, especially working with other sculptors, and you learn so many different things from each other, and not just in the craft, but also business-wise, how to pursue work.
And when you're not feeling inspired, being around someone that is,
Yeah.
is really helpful.
Yeah, it kicks your butt into gear and you actually get back into it.
Yeah, when I see Aaron, well, he's working and it seems to be going pretty well. I should keep trying.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't wait for confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just have to commit. It's
One foot in front of the other.
And discipline.
I say that a lot. One foot in front of the other.
But it's true. It is true. We have amazing opportunities, but there's days where you feel like your idea is garbage. And even though it's not, even though it's just self-doubt and all these things welling up, you have to have the discipline to get through that.
Yeah.
And I really, I'm a big advocate for self-discipline over self-confidence.
Yeah.
Because the confidence will come.
And it doesn't always, and that's okay. Just keep creating.
Yeah, just keep moving.
Yeah.